History is the story of humankind from our past, but of course at one time the story was taking place. So what I'm doing with my witness page on my website, spiritualrevolution.com, is recording my own thoughts in real time as history in the making. I have an entry from 6th of February 2024 called Politics, Philosophy, Spirituality. There are 3 dimensions to life and 3 stages to the journey of a human being. Which stage are you currently in? Many never get beyond the first stage, but if you can get to stage 2, and especially then into stage 3, you will live an enjoyable, meaningful, rewarding, and above all, a healthy, happy life. I would say that the hardest step is from first to second step. Getting from the second to the third is almost inevitable, although some do get stuck in stage 2. Politics. Knowing all the answers, never asking questions, never learning because you already know. Philosophy. Starts with the feeling that all your knowledge is somehow not standing up to your increasing scrutiny and/or discomfort. Now, in the act of philosophy, you are reflecting, asking questions, seeking answers, because the realization has dawned upon us that what we know is in fact shaky knowledge at best, harmful bullshit and lies at worst. Yet, as we get stuck into this new journey more and more, no answer ever seems to be complete or stand rigorous investigation. The moment we say, now I know, we realize we don't know. Just at the point of grabbing the treasure, we realize it's all an illusion, and all we get is a handful of thin air before we go to bed, yet again feeling so near yet so far. Hence the need to move on to stage 3. Spirituality. The moment we realize that all our questions have no definitive answers, and that when we now drop all these oft explored questions, suddenly we have our answer. Drop the questions. Now we act, now we do, now we create, now we are aware, now we are proactive, now we shape our own life. Now we shape the environment we live, work and play in. Spirituality is living through radical acceptance of what cannot be changed, but also comes to us through acting with the courage, compassion and confidence to change that which is harmful to us or others. We go from knowledge in stage 1 to seeking understanding in stage 2 to quitting the seeking. Or in reality, the 3 steps: politics is ignorance, philosophy is learning, spirituality is wisdom. Interestingly, to those who explore such things, it turns out that the school system is mired and stuck in the politics dimension of life, and much worse than that, it blocks us from developing the skills which can easily lead us into stage 2 and then stage 3. Media, populated by those stuck in politics, continues the repression of the rest of us. So this means we can think of the 3 steps or stages as politics, psychologically sick or unwell; philosophy, healing ourselves; spirituality, living with optimal health, harmony and happiness. Living spiritually is where all the benefits of being human are to be found. Lots of exciting experiences come during the philosophy stage, however. I should read that again, shouldn't I? Lots of exciting experiences come during the philosophy stage, however. There are pleasures to be had in politics. Pleasure is one side of the coin that carries suffering with it. I personally feel that while philosophy does not have the answers, it's a necessary bridge to the spirituality dimension. We must ask the questions of ourselves in order to, finally, realize the answers are ether, thin air. Spirituality therefore comes to us when philosophy burns itself out after the nth degree of discussion and debate and exploration with oneself and with other seekers. At this point, we drop the questions. And the main questions vexing philosophers are: who am I? What am I? What is my purpose? For what reason am I alive? The answers only come to us when we drop the questions. Yet, unless we ask the questions, we won't have them to drop. Hence the need for moving into the philosophy stage of the human journey. I think in our day and age of massive information flow, some people are missing out stage 2, which makes their spirituality incomplete. I think stage 2, while ultimately having no answers, is the essential stage towards being a full human being. Happy seeking, but remember, the seeking is only to get to a place where you no longer need to seek. So use the philosophy dimension as a bridge to getting yourself into the spirituality dimension, which is where your health, harmony and happiness reside, and where they're gettable and doable for most of our life. Doesn't run perfectly, of course not. Final thought, it's not all linear. I have political moments in my spiritual life, and political people will have spiritual moments, because it's all in all of us, just that we need to uncover it all. So that was my witness entry on my witness page. I'll put a link to the page below. I've often thought of life in these 3 stages, and I recognise my own life's journey has gone through those 3 stages. And obviously, once I've left the politics and moved into the philosophy, where I'm asking all the questions, and then I realise after a certain amount of time, which was a few years for me, I think, that I had to drop the questions, and then I would get the answers, which sounds kind of weird, but that when you can do it, you'll know what I mean. And I'm not suggesting it should take you years, because I was groping in the dark. Nobody was guiding me. And then the spirituality dimension is where we are tuned in and aligned with the ways of nature. And that can mean bad things happening, but because we're aligned with nature, we're able to prevent most bad things, and when the bad things do come along, we can solve them. And the default of spiritual living is indeed happiness, good health and harmony. So there you have it. Whichever stage you're in at the moment, and most people are in politics. And then when I started to feel angry, and I started to feel enraged at the crimes I was reading about by people in powerful positions in corporations and government and so on. And that's not to blame them, but it's just that I was blaming them then. But that's what sent me from stage 2 into stage 3, because I was suffering and I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just learning about the crimes of harm and destruction. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Look out for my other videos. If you like these little stories of history as they're happening, which is just one man's thinking, one man's thought at the time, then check out the witness page. And you can always subscribe to my letters as well, and join this channel, and just follow my output. Goodbye.